Cryptocurrency, DeFi, NFTs, if that sounds confusing, the BitLab Academy is here to help. We make it simple. Start investing in crypto, learn trading fundamentals, and how to make money with NFTs. Join our community today. Crypto for beginners, taught by the pros.
Welcome to Rice TVX. This is the Rice Crypto Show, and today I am joined by Carlos Estrada from Coin Vigilante for a content creator spotlight. I invited Carlos on to learn more about him, his YouTube channel, and the Coin Vigilante watches. Before we get into it, visit ricetvx.com and sign up for my mailing list so you never miss an update or new Rice TVX content. You will also find my various social media links and more. You can also find Rice TVX on Odyssey and Library, where I have a full catalog of my videos, post up extra content, and share other appearances. And you can also find Rice TVX on BitChute. To support Rice TVX directly, you can contribute or send tips to PayPal, to Cash App, or cryptocurrencies via my Cointree link in the video description. Everything is appreciated. Another way to support what I do is by joining my Patreon channel, where you will get early access to some of my videos, exclusive content, and more. Get your free half ounce of silver. Take full advantage of my partnership with Money Metals Exchange in 5 easy steps. 1. Visit moneymetals.com. 2. Be a first-time buyer. 3. Purchase a minimum of $100. 4. Use the promo code RICE. 5. Get a free half ounce of silver, and it's an additional way to support the channel. I will include links in the video description for everything I just mentioned, as well as everything shared on today's video. All right, ladies and gentlemen, joining me on today's episode of the Rice Crypto Show is Carlos Estrada from the Crypto Vigilante. Carlos, I appreciate you coming on the show. How are you doing today?
Thanks, man. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
No problem, man. Like I was telling you before, what I'm trying to do, and I've done this with a few other content creators in the past and been trying to revive it more recently, but kind of a content creator YouTube spotlight to try to bring attention to some channels that are trying to grow that I think offer a lot of value. So I'm going to be sharing your YouTube channel, your Twitter, and your webpage, and this will be linked in the video description for anybody who's watching. And I definitely encourage you to head over to Carlos's YouTube channel, Crypto Vigilante, and make sure you subscribe. Now, before we get into it, bro, do you mind kind of giving people a little bit of background as to who the Coin Vigilante is?
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, I appreciate it. You know, there's a lot of work that goes behind content creation that a lot of people don't think about. And, you know, just a quick, I guess, overview of, you know, how I got here. I got into crypto about 5 years ago. My mom is actually the one, funny enough, that told me, hey, you know, there's this thing called Bitcoin. It's like digital money, and you can send it anywhere across the world, and you know, no one has to know. It just lands in your lap and boom, you're done. I'm like, huh, that's interesting. So, you know, like everyone in 2017 that got into it, we all got in it for, I guess, the money. It was just a hype thing. We saw crazy returns. And so I ended up buying Bitcoin, Litecoin, and a few other coins. And so it just really clicked to me when I realized that for once, when I was in college, I mean, it was about 5 years ago, I would be in all these classes, and they would always, you know, I realized there was a problem, right? I mean, they were printing money. It was, you know, the downfall of the whole empire was inevitable. I mean, and I was just thinking, look, they are taking the purchasing power away from hardworking Americans and hardworking people that are putting their time and effort into their 9 to 5, and they're getting paid in dollars. And year over year over year, they're printing trillions out of thin air. So it's a ridiculous problem that we have. And at that moment, I discovered Bitcoin. And to me, it just was a light bulb moment. I figured, hey, you know, this is going to be the exit out of the rigged system that the top 1% or the corrupt, you know, use to benefit, you know, and so they enrich themselves at the expense of all of us, the bottom 50%. And so it clicked with me. I decided later on to just make a podcast, just try to interview the leading figures in the crypto space, you know, people like you, people that are out there that know what's going on. And so I've gotten the chance to interview a lot of good people, you know, Charlie Lee, Crypto Burb, Jay Miller from the Litecoin Foundation, Miss Teen Crypto, a lot of Litecoin Lisa, right? So Johnny Litecoin, a lot of good people that share that vision for sound money. And that is what I basically go off of. And, you know, what I've done the past couple of years, a lot of content creation, Twitter. And so, but yeah.
Cool. So when exactly did you, like, what year was it, roundabouts in time frame of the year too that you got involved?
It was 2017.
Like early, mid, late?
It was mid.
Okay.
So it was right before the huge parabolic run that I thought I was going to be a billionaire.
So like a 3-4K Bitcoin price, somewhere around there?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was cool. Funny though, man, because I tell you, and a lot of people go through this. I don't know how old, like 19 or something, 18. And to me, I was making, off of a couple $100, I was just making an insane amount. And I was thinking, man, this is going to keep going. I'm going to be a millionaire. This is how it's going to go. And dude, I lost it all like a couple months after. All of it. I didn't sell. And so everything crashed 99%. And but you
didn't lose it all. If you didn't sell, you didn't lose
right.
it. You just didn't take any profit. You were a bag holder. You were the definition of hodling your way until you can get out or take some profits. And, you know, which I totally understand. We got to make mistakes early. And I encourage the mistakes to be early, because then it kind of changes your mindset to take this whole thing a lot more seriously. I mean, like, our banking system has been designed where most people don't have a checkbook, don't balance their account. They're just looking at applications on their phone or computer. And the banks really kind of do a lot of things for the individual. So when you have to basically you have to put on your grown-up pants and be a big boy and be responsible for what you're doing, which isn't what you normally have in your bank. If you get locked out of your account, you can contact the bank. You forget your recovery phrase or your password or whatever situation might be, you could be completely screwed. And, you know, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I do.
So what made you want to ultimately start a YouTube channel? And one thing I wanted to make sure when I was doing the introduction, I wanted to make sure I did not screw up and say Dollar Vigilante or Crypto Vigilante, because I've interviewed Raphael and Mr. A just recently, and I just wanted to make sure I said Coin Vigilante every time.
Yep. Well, you're good.
Okay, cool. I was hoping we didn't have to restart this, and I look like a jackass saying, "Here's Carlos Estrada from Dollar Crypto Vigilante Coin."
Hey, it happens, man. There's so many vigilante things out there, but you know, like you said, so there was just a moment that clicked for me. I understood that crypto or decentralized money, like especially Bitcoin and Litecoin, that's what I mainly focus on, because number one, they're very decentralized. They run on proof of work. You know, they have a cap, right? So they 21 million for Bitcoin, 84 million for Litecoin. I understood the opportunity that it brings for the little guy, right? It's a level playing field when it comes to, you know, sound money, and it protects your purchasing power. And number one, no one can tamper with it. No one, no government can take your money away if you hold it in, you know, self-custodial wallet, right? And so I understood it. Now, my thing is I saw an opportunity for a lot of people, myself included. And I said, why not inform people about it? And especially, I wanted to target people that knew nothing about crypto, nothing at all, because it was right before the 2021, 2020 bull run started, right? And so, you know, if you watch my videos, you'll see that a lot of the things I talk about are pretty down to earth. And so I decided, hey, why not reach out to a couple of people and just be like, hey, like one of the guys was my first episode was a guy that had 1,000 followers and happened to just tweet a lot about Litecoin. I'm like, you want to do an episode? I'm just trying to, and I'm telling you, dude, you start from scratch. You start from nothing. My bed was in the background of the video. I had my laptop camera taking the video. It was just pretty bad, right? But you know, from that one episode, then all of a sudden I'm interviewing Rebecca from Litecoin, all of a sudden Johnny Litecoin, all of a sudden Litecoin Lisa, and all of a sudden Charlie Lee, and you just keep going. And I find a lot of connection And it encouraged me because I'm like, wow, there's a lot of people out there who care, you know, about developing, you know, humanity as a whole. And that's Bitcoin. That's things that actually empower individuals that make that happen. And so I find a lot of passion in it. You know, I know it's a small YouTube channel, but I try to put content to benefit myself because I learn from every episode, and I want to make sure that the audience gains from it. So that was my motivation behind it.
Well, I mean, I'm personally impressed with what you're doing. When I first started out, and I still have my very first video on my YouTube channel, but I've had to remove a lot of older content because of getting strikes and violations on older content. So that's why I have my full catalog over on Odyssey and Library. But I started out, I was procrastinating. I was going to start my channel in like mid to late 2017, but it didn't happen until the very beginning of 2018, early January.
Yeah.
And somebody connected me with Ken Bozak. I was going to go on his podcast for Not Another Bitcoin interview, and didn't want to go on there as just some guy. So it really kind of pushed me to get some videos out, and I put an intro and 2 other videos. So I had 3 videos by the time I did that, and within 2 months, me and Ken were working together. And yeah, it's amazing, man. The community is very supportive, you know, and I appreciate everybody in the community. And we have some likewise people that we run in circles with. We had an opportunity to meet in person at one of Litecoin Lisa and Clint Westwood's meetups in St. Petersburg, Florida, and I think that was December.
Yeah, it was.
Time has been a blur, man.
I know.
That was one of my mini Florida trips, and I'm going back next week. And also to let people know, we are recording this on the 31st of March, and I will be releasing this the following week on while I'm out of town. So just so people can take note of that. But yeah, it's actually going to be available as soon as we're done with the interview, or maybe the next day. It'll be available on my Patreon channel. So if you're not already a patron, I would definitely encourage you to check out my Patreon channel. Enough for me advertising. But as far as the interviews you've done, man, I know this is kind of a hard question to ask people, but is there any one particular that's your favorite that you would encourage people, if they've never watched your content, that this would probably be the one that you would want to check out as a introduction to what you do?
Yeah, that is a tough question. I would say my top 2, one of them is with Charlie Lee, because I was able to pick his brain and actually understand how he sees Litecoin and Bitcoin as sound money. So he gives a pretty good explanation. And he talks about the possibilities that having a digital money out there, once it's massively adopted, I mean, what the difference could do. And it's just interesting. Every time I hear him, you know, I always want to watch his stuff because he brings different content. But another one is one with Bitcoin Ben. And the reason why I like that is because we were literally, I mean, we were just letting it out. I mean, we were not holding back on anything. And so everything that came out of his mouth, out of my mouth was, I mean, you're going to get the whole opinion, everything. And so we were able to really connect in a way that we talked about the real issues that are going on in terms of politics, in terms of, you know, whether it's government control, whether it's the opportunity that Bitcoin brings, all of that we connected. And actually, I do have to say one with John Kim, because John Kim, he you know, his life is definitely motivational to an extent, you know, depending on, I know some people don't like him, some people do, but I respect the path that he chose to get to where he got. But I would say those are the top 3.
Okay. Very cool, man. And I appreciate you sharing that. Yeah, it's always a tough one. People ask me that because you don't want to, you know, not mention somebody out of, you know, hurting somebody. And, you know, so it's always cool when you interview a bunch of higher profile people, because then the other people kind of realize and they get, you know, they understand. Oh, okay, John McAfee. I understand. I really can't compete with him. So, but yeah. All right, man. Well, one of the things that I did want to ask you about that I thought was really cool, and, you know, I've seen this too on your Twitter account. This was the first, before I even knew you had a YouTube channel, I had seen, I think it was first with Bitcoin Ben, then maybe with Litecoin Lisa, and then with Miss Teen Crypto. But you were talking about these watches that you put out.
Right.
I don't know what are they Coin Vigilante wallet or watches. I don't know what the official name for them are.
Yeah, it's Coin Vigilante watches, but I always refer to them as Bitcoin watch or Litecoin watch. So
Okay, cool. Well, I really when I met you in Florida, you had a chance, I think, to you might have even you and your girlfriend and your wife. I'm not sure.
yeah, wife now. Yeah.
She well, congratulations.
Thank
The two of you spoke, I think, maybe after me, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah, I
at
think we
Litecoin
did. Yeah.
Lisa's meetup, and you were talking about the idea behind the watches, and I would love to kind of get, if you don't mind, to kind of share
Well,
that story with everybody.
yeah, for sure. There's definitely a reason behind the watches, right? So, 2 years ago, I had a light bulb moment where I realized, look, there's a problem with the 9 to 5 today and just monetary policy today, right? So a lot of people work 9 to 5 to make ends meet and put money on the table, right? So with that effort and time that you put, you get rewarded in what? Dollars. Year over year, over year, over year, those dollars get devalued because of current monetary policy, because of fiscal policy, because of Federal Reserve. And so what happens is it does not respect your purchasing power. And that means it doesn't respect your time because time is energy. And on the other hand of the whole story, you have something like Bitcoin, right? It has a limited supply, 21 million. No one can tamper with it. If someone wants to print it to fund a war, if someone wants to print it to fund a specific policy, you can't do it. And so, on the other hand, if you look at the existence of Bitcoin throughout time, you know, purchasing power has been protected and it protects people's time. And so I said, okay, I want to create something that reminds me of that, right? And what better way to do it than a timepiece, right? And a lot of people thought I was crazy. I'm like, you're making a watch that's like, what? Like, you're just nuts. It doesn't make sense, right? And so, I thought there's Bitcoin shirts, there's Bitcoin socks, there's Bitcoin shoes, there's Bitcoin everything, but I have not seen an affordable Bitcoin watch. And so, I learned on YouTube, I learned on the internet how to design a watch, and I wanted to make it authentic and actually, portray just the elegance of sound money. So to me, right now we have these watches that are worn across 30 countries, right? So from a far-fetched idea of me trying to convey that message, we have people out there who are representing, the respect for sound money and the respect for time. And that's kind of like a feat I'm kind of proud of because that was my message, right? If you go to a shop on, JC Penney, a jewelry store or whatever, you're going to have someone, that retailer, who's just trying to make a commission and sell you a watch just because it's a watch and they don't know the meaning behind it, right? So the difference with me, I did business to consumer direct. So you're buying it directly from us so that you know exactly why we're doing it. You know what it actually means, what it stands for. And to me, seriously, and it's a fact, I think that to me, if you wear one of our watches, you're sharing that vision for sound money. And so that was the story behind it. It's obviously all authentic. I wanted to create a meaning behind it, not just try to sell a piece of hardware that you're just going to carry. So that's my 2 cents on that.
I like that, dude. I mean, and I really was moved by it when I heard you mention it at Litecoin Lisa's meetup. You seem like a very sharp young man. I'm going to guess that you're what, like 23, 24-ish?
24. Yeah, 24.
Okay. You got a good head on your shoulders, man. For you even to be able to recognize, how our banking system works, how the monetary system works, how it's designed. And for you at your age to already realize that time is our most valuable asset and that time equals energy, and everything that we do is based off of energy, whether it's an exchange of energy or whatever the situation might be. So I got to commend you on that. With these watches, no problem, man, no problem. With these watches, you guys did a limited run. What was it, like 750?
Yeah, 750, and that's it. And I wanted to make it connected to that scarcity that, Litecoin has, that Bitcoin has. And so people like that. And I think, yeah, only 750 though.
I like that tweet. I want to retweet it. Are you going to be doing more watches?
Yeah, so I'm in the works right now of working on the new limited edition. But the interesting thing that I'm trying to do, and a lot of the money that we raised from Kickstarter and from this is is being used to actually develop a watch that is actually more Bitcoin, like an actual Bitcoin watch. I mean, I can't really say what that means yet, because other competitors are just gonna, steal the idea or whatever. But
Right. No,
we're working on that, and the cool thing is we're working on that, and just one of the things that we're also doing is accepting Bitcoin and Litecoin directly for them, right? So I got a lot of customers who reached out. He's like, dude, that's actually cool that you're doing that, because there's a lot of these places that sell you all these crypto gear, but they don't even support or actually do anything that's crypto related, accepting it. And so I'm like,
yeah, no, it's crazy.
So it's nice, dude. You don't even have to go through Coinbase or through anything. You can if you want, but we have direct. I mean, you just plug in your wallet, send us a Litecoin or Bitcoin, which a lot of people actually pay with, and boom, done. Immediate transaction.
Yeah, it kind of sucks I didn't find out about this until I think they were pretty much sold out. Then I think Clint Westwood bought a horde of them, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he bought the whole fleet. Hey, we still have a few left, but yeah, they're definitely running out.
Okay, so there are a few if people are interested in getting some.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We have.
Okay.
I mean, we're close to running out, but there are a few left.
Okay, cool. Now, when you guys are doing future series, I'm assuming that each face of the watch will have different designs.
Different designs, yeah. So
you're doing limited. Are you going to do anything that might be a little bit less expensive? That's more of a regular item that you're going to carry on rather than always releasing them in limited series, or do you want to keep having that scarcity with?
I think we're going to keep doing definitely some limited, but we are going to run one collection that is going to be in perpetuity. So it's just going to keep going, affordable. And that's one of the things too that I wanted to do. If you look at Bitcoin watches online, any Bitcoin watch you're going to find is above 20 grand or $2 million. And so I wanted to make something that people could actually afford. And so, I put meaning behind it. And it was successful, dude. It came to people in the community supporting it and believing in it, because look, that Kickstarter campaign, I can't tell you the amount of support I got from like Queen Lisa, John Kim, I mean, Clint Westwood, Misty and Crypto, all these people that, really supported it. But yeah, it's great, man. I'll never regret doing this. I think it's an amazing opportunity, and I'm happy.
I think it's a cool idea, man. I like how you put Genesis block hash on there. I've got some ideas that I'll share with you after we're done, recording and stuff, because obviously you don't want people taking ideas. But I think it's cool, man. And I definitely want to talk to you about getting one myself. And let me see here. I want to make sure that there wasn't. I want to make sure there wasn't anything else that I wanted to cover. We got your channel. Kind of got who you are, when you started in crypto, why you started your channel, what you're doing with your channel. I shared your Twitter account, and we talked about time, which I think is really good. With the watches, do you plan on doing additional coins aside from just Bitcoin or Litecoin?
So that's one of the things that a lot of people were asking me, and I made the ultimate decision that as far as our lines and what we put out there with our watches, we're not going to use anything else. And part of it is I want to maintain the integrity of the meaning behind just the message of the watches, right? And that is directly connected to sound money. I don't see many coins out there that really share the characteristics that Bitcoin has and that Litecoin has. And that is the reason why I decided to use that. And it goes back to that message of protecting time and sound money. Yeah,
no, I totally respect it, man. Totally respect it. And I could see where people would be like, especially someone who's like just really gung-ho about a certain project. I know there's, especially within our kind of circle of our community, there's a lot of Digibyte fans. I'm sure Digibyte has come up numerous times, probably one of the most requested. They have a pretty rabid community, which shout out to the Digibyte community.
Yeah, shout out to them. I believe in the Digibyte project. I do.
Yeah, no, and I know you like other projects, but it makes sense with what you're trying to do, rather than just capitalizing and just putting out basically a watch for every single coin and just profiting in that way. So I respect that.
So yeah, that's what I'm doing, and you know, it is what it is. But it goes back to that. I mean, my core focus is primarily Bitcoin, primarily Litecoin. So that's just been where I go to.
I respect it, man. I respect it. Well, okay, so we're gonna have links for your YouTube channel. I definitely encourage people to head over there and subscribe. Me and you talked about the idea of you potentially doing some collaborations with the channel in the future, and I've mentioned that with other content creators like Papa Joe and some other people privately. Right. So you may see Carlos here on Rice TVX more. And I definitely want to invite you on for some roundtable conversations and maybe get you in one of the crypto rewinds once I get back from Miami. It's going to be a couple weeks before I restart that, but it's my last week in crypto show.
Hey, it'd be an honor, man. That sounds amazing.
Cool. Well, again, I appreciate it. And then we'll have your Twitter account, Mr. Vigilante BTC. And then we will also have coinvigilante.com where people can go and purchase one of these beautiful limited edition Litecoin or Bitcoin watches that I will soon own one of myself.
Sweet.
All right, man. You got anything else? You got anything else? Any final thoughts or anything you want to add before we wrap up today's conversation?
No, man, just I appreciate it. It was a good time. I do appreciate the fact that you're supporting, you know, just people like me. You know, we're not huge right yet or whatever, and we don't have, I may not have a big network, but there's a lot of people out there that like you said, content creation and have content creation, and it's not easy. I mean, it's not easy to put the content out there. And I do appreciate the support and all the community out there that watches your stuff. Kudos to all of you. You guys are, you know, good audience and all that. So.
Well, so Carlos, one, we're already got an uphill battle because, you know, we're dealing with shadow banning and censorship on YouTube because YouTube is not exactly pro crypto right now. There's been a lot of issues with numerous channels. You know, and then I also have to, you know, retell this story too, because my channel, it really didn't start growing until early to mid 2020. And it was when I restructured my channel and added in the stranger than fiction stuff, because prior to that I had done a lot of big interviews, mainly all in the crypto space, and I was struggling to get subscribers because of the shadow banning and censorship I was dealing with, because I was also promoting what anarchy truly is and what voluntarism is to educate people, and bringing on guests that YouTube weren't really big fans of, which, you know, wasn't my fault, but it was part of the game that I had to play. So me knowing how hard it was to build anything that I can do to try to help anybody else out, you know, especially someone who's putting out quality content. There's too many people out on YouTube that are shilling, that are just trying to push and pump and dump and make a quick dollar, you know, and I can see that you're not one of those individuals, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to take the time and highlight what you do, man. Yeah,
well, dude, I appreciate it. And that's one of the things that I agree with that, because just like with the watches, there are manufacturers that I found, and what they did was tell you, hey, we got a template, we got everything ready. All you got to we just put a flat logo on there and we're good to go. And that's not authentic. I don't want to just push people into buying something that's not meaningful, right? And it's the same thing with information. People like authenticity, and there's so much crap going out there that people are just trying to shove you information down your throat. And, you know, when it's not authentic, we don't need it. And so I do appreciate that you see that in me and the show, and I see it in you too. So, man, thank you for that.
Well, it's been a great conversation. And again, I want to have links down below. Bear with me real quick. I'll wrap up and stop recording. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, make sure you're checking out Coin Vigilante YouTube channel and all the other links and everything that we talked about on today's show. If this is your first time watching any of my videos, be sure to check out and explore my channel. I'd encourage you to make sure you subscribe. If you hit the notification bell, sometimes YouTube may notify you when my videos come out. And I will leave you with this. Be blessed, be the change, practice change.